The ninjas behind looked at the enemy not far away, and then at the injured companion next to them, as if they had made a major decision in their hearts. Then I'll leave this place to you. We must defeat these guys. After finishing speaking, the ninjas quickly retreated. On the other side, the enemy who was knocked down by Akamichi Choji climbed up again. From the beginning to the end, he remained expressionless, without any waves on his face, like a walking dead. So did his subordinates. Naruto, the enemy in front of us should not be underestimated. I think we should formulate a strategy. Nara Shikamaru said with a serious expression. Multiple shadow clone techniques. Before Shikamaru finished speaking, Naruto performed ninjutsu on his own. Countless clones appeared in all directions, posing a fighting posture, and they would charge forward without fear of life or death as long as Naruto gave an order. Shikamaru, what did you just say? Naruto responded. It's really troublesome. Sure enough, doing tasks with you is always full of uncertainty. It's okay, just go ahead. Shikamaru scratched the back of his head helplessly and said tiredly. Yakushi, give me a rush. Naruto clenched his fists and mustered all his energy. Countless Naruto clones rushed towards the direction of the enemy with the momentum of thunder. Facing the siege of Shadow Clone, the mysterious people responded calmly and destroyed several clones with one single blow. Two of the mysterious people suddenly raised their hands, their wrists loosened, and their arms separated from their hands, like two cannon barrels shooting dense thorns. Therefore, the avatars that were touched by the sharp stab disappeared instantly. Not only that, after all Naruto's clones were eliminated, those thorns shot towards Naruto's body and his three companions. Meatball Chariot. Akamichi Choza yelled. Under the blessing of expansion jutsu, Akamichi Choji became bigger and covered with a long gray rope tied with kunai, spinning rapidly like a huge spinning top. Akamichi Choji stood in front of the other three, resisting the enemy's attack with his body. Kunai, who was trapped on the rope, hit those sharp thorns precisely, but the number of thorns was too many to dazzle the eye, and too many to resist. Soon the enemy's attack dissipated. Akamichi Choji returned to normal, but followed by a scream. Akamichi Choji suddenly lost his balance and fell to the ground. Seeing this, the other three stepped forward to check on Akamichi Choji's condition with concern. I'm fine, you don't have to worry. Akamichi Choji said in a broken voice. Oops. Choji was hit by those sharp thorns. Yamanaka Ino hastily pulled out the thorns and gave healing. These thorns have venom on them. Shikamaru immediately saw the mystery. Akamichi Choji has been paralyzed by the toxin, and the chakra on his body is constantly passing away. A green light came on, and Yamanaka Ino followed little Sakura as a teacher of 5th Hokage Tsunade, who is very good at medical ninjutsu. Medical ninjutsu doesn't work. Ino was shocked. It was the first time he encountered such a situation since he became a medical ninja, and his eyes were full of panic. What? How is this possible? Shikamaru exclaimed. Who is this mysterious man, and the damage he caused can't even be repaired by medical ninjutsu? Ino, you don't need to heal me, help me up. I can continue to fight. Choji endured the pain. Don't be so brave, Choji, you've done enough for us, Shikamaru reassured. Hearing Shikamaru's words, Akamichi Choji gradually calmed down, and he also understood that he could only withdraw from the battlefield in this state, otherwise he would not only be unable to help, but also become a drag on his companions. Immediately afterwards, Nara Shikamaru pulled Naruto and Ino to his side and began to talk about the subsequent strategy. In view of the high degree of difficulty of the enemy, they must be extremely careful in every step. However, those enemies with extraordinary backgrounds would not just stand there waiting for them. The leader of the mysterious man raised his arm, and his subordinates rushed over without thinking. Shadow imitation. Nara Shikamaru gathered his hands together and made a seal. The shadow of Shikamaru under his feet instantly flew along the ground towards the positions of those enemies, connecting with their shadows. For a moment, these enemies were all unable to move, as if they had become lambs waiting to be slaughtered. Ino. This is the time, let's do it, Shikamaru shouted loudly. Heart-to-heart technique. Yamanaka Ino made an irregular oval with the palm of his hand. This move is facing the leader of the mysterious enemy. Yamanaka Ino wants to use secret techniques to invade the opponent's brain, and instead launch different attacks on the rest. Shikamaru has become accustomed to coming behind Yamanaka Ino, because Ino who performed this secret technique, his body will also fall into a deep sleep state. But contrary to expectations, Yamanaka Ino did not transfer consciousness, and the secret technique lost its effect. Ino, what's going on here? Is the enemy mentally strong? Shikamaru asked, puzzled. No, I don't know if this is good news or bad news. These enemies are unconscious. Yamanaka Ino replied. Robot. Puppet. Shikamaru guessed. So what do we do next? Naruto asked. If it's a puppet, there must be a chakra line pulled by the puppet master, and the robot will also have a corresponding energy system. This is their weakness. Shikamaru's brain is spinning extremely fast. As soon as the voice fell, Uzumaki Naruto rushed forward. He never liked to think too much, and just ran forward blindly. Seeing that Naruto was pinched back and forth by several puppets, Shikamaru and Ino went up to rescue him. In less than 10 minutes, the three of them were covered in bruises and bruises. Akamichi Choji in the distance just passed out due to poisoning, and the ninjas also ran away without a trace, which means that no one can save them from the current danger. Naruto, Ino, it seems we are going to die together. Softly. Nara Shikamaru, who is known for her wisdom, is weak in revolving heaven at the moment, and her tricks are only useful when the difference between the two sides is not big, and it is not worth mentioning in front of absolute power. Don't say such depressing words. As long as we are still alive, there is hope. Naruto encouraged his companions. Naruto is always so optimistic, and no one has seen him give up, which is also his value. The exhausted three waited for the final judgment. Looking at the sharp blade that fell down, Naruto wanted to swing kunai, but he didn't have the strength to raise his arm. Just at this moment, an ultimate cold air hit the face without any warning, and it was icy and snowy. You guys are doing great. If you don't see anyone, you can hear his voice first, and the voice of Qian Yu, the master of the ninja world, comes. Frozen moment. Qian Yu appeared out of thin air, sending out bursts of cold air, and the blue-white mist floated towards the menacing enemies, turning them all into solid blocks of ice. Lord Qian Yu. Naruto and the others shouted excitedly as if they had seen the savior, their words even choked up. Let's talk about it later, let me clean up these guys first. Qian Yu said seriously. Originally, Qian Yu was drinking delicious green tea in the back garden of the palace, when he suddenly received an urgent call from Tsunade. The violence in the territory of countries does not sound like a big deal, but Qian Yu's intuition tells Qian Yu that there must be something else behind it. It just so happened that Qian Yu, who had been staying in the palace these days and didn't go out, was exhausted and rushed directly towards the land of fire. Looking at the mysterious enemy who almost wiped out Naruto and the others, the corners of Qian Yu's mouth rose slightly. Naruto didn't recognize these guys, but he understood quite well. Aren't these people just puppets created by Otsutsuki? Could it be that the Otsutsuki family can't sit still and descend to the earth? Qian Yu quickly denied this guess, because he didn't feel the powerful aura of the Otsutsuki clan. It seems that they are just some little guys sent by Otsutsuki Toneri to the earth to scout intelligence. A few meters away, the leader of the puppet people put his hands flat on his chest, and a yellow light flashed, very dazzling. A small yellow ball of light came into being and flew towards Qian Yu quickly. The destructive power of this ball of light is astonishing, about stronger than normal Rasengan. Qian Yu didn't dodge, let the ball of light lie down in front of his face. Suddenly, Qian Yu stretched out his hand and crushed the ball of light fiercely. Immediately afterwards, Qian Yu shifted to the back of the leader of the puppet, and breathed out lightly. The puppet leader also stepped into the footsteps of his subordinates, wrapped in crystal clear, hard and solid ice. After solving these puppets, Qian Yu healed the wounds of everyone. Although he has never learned medical skills, he has the power of 6 paths to control yin-yang dun, and he can easily bring the dead back to life, let alone heal the pain of others. Master Qian Yu, if you hadn't appeared in time, we might have passed away, Shikamaru said gratefully. Small meaning, I am the master of the ninja world. To put it simply, I am the big brother of the ninja world. I don't care if you little brothers are in trouble, Bingyu joked. Afterwards, Qian Yu bid farewell to Naruto and the others, and returned to Kirigakure with the frozen puppets. After the ninja crisis, Kirigakure has been expanded several times in succession, and the reason is nothing more than insufficient land. After all, this is the residence of Qian Yu, the master of the ninja world. On the basis of the original, Kirigakure reclaimed the land and successively built magnificent palaces, research institutes, arenas and other buildings. The research institute is located in the northern bay area of Kirigakure, not far from the palace. Qian Yu went straight to the research institute when he came back this time. Master Qian Yu, did the wind blow you here? Orochimaru in a white coat asked with a smile on his face. Orochimaru, who is controlled by the distinguished heavenly gods, is quite kind and respectful to you. I found some very interesting samples, you can study them. Qian Yu said while taking out the puppets that he had frozen. Follow orders, and the sky will perish. At the same time, on the barren moon, desolation is the main color here. But on the other side of the moon, here is a tall castle, and a young man in a white robe sits in the courtyard. The man's name is Otsutsuki Sharon, with pale hair and short blue-white hair. His eyebrows are very special, like a small half of a willow leaf. There is a jade-shaped pattern around his neck. Otsutsuki was born without eyes, and his ultimate goal is to capture the eyes of the white-eyed princess, evolve Tensigan, and destroy the earth. The descendants of Otsutsuki Hagoromo, the younger brother of Sage of Six Paths, Otsutsuki Hagoromo, have always been based on the moon. In their lineage, the earth is hopeless. This is the failed world established by Sage of Six Paths. Not long ago, Otsutsuki felt that there seemed to be a huge change in the ninja world, so he sent his puppets to investigate the situation. Otsutsuki was shocked by the news from the puppet. A ninja master appeared in the ninja world, so powerful that he even defeated Otsutsuki Kagaya. While Otsutsuki was sighing and marveling, the puppet met the ninja, and the two sides started a journey. Originally, they were supposed to quickly get rid of the ninja and return to the moon immediately, but they suddenly lost contact. Could it be that the master of the ninja world on Earth discovered those puppets? Otsutsuki Toneri thought anxiously. The development of the ninja world has deviated from the original route. What choice should Otsutsuki Toneri make in this situation? No, I have to advance the plan. With my current strength, I am definitely not the opponent of the Lord of the Ninja World. Otsutsuki frowned. Immediately, Otsutsuki Sharon sent all the puppets to the earth, ordering them to capture White-Eyed Princess at all costs. The puppets created by Otsutsuki Toneri are so powerful that they can fight against elite Jonin. Coupled with the large number, they should be able to fulfill his expectations. Ever since he caught the puppet of Otsutsuki Sharon, Qian Yu has been constantly on the lookout for every move of the moon. His perception ability is much stronger than the perception ninjas of the 5 great ninja villages, and he soon discovered the traces of the puppets. I was unprepared last time, but this time I watched your every move. Qian Yu stood at the gate of the palace and said softly. Qian Yu is a traveler who observes the whole situation from the perspective of God, and knows the purpose of Otsutsuki Sharon well. If Qian Yu wanted to, killing those puppets and the Otsutsuki Sharon behind them would be a matter of raising his hand. But in this way, things will be much less fun. The long period of invincibility made Qian Yu feel empty, and he really wanted to fight against the strong. In addition, Qian Yu is also particularly interested in Tensigan, which is another ultimate pupil technique besides Rinnegan. Thinking of this, Qian Yu made a decision, that is to deliberately ignore the puppets sent by Otsutsuki Sharon, let them successfully kidnap Hinata, and indirectly prompt Otsutsuki Sharon to open Tensigan. But Hyuga Hinata is her own woman after all. Qian Yu is still unwilling to hand it over to others, let alone a fool who wants to marry Hinata. After thinking for a while, Qian Yu came up with a way to secretly set up a barrier on Hinata's body. Once an outsider wants to touch other places other than his eyes, he will suffer a terrible backlash. Anyway, Otsutsuki's eyes are only for Hinata's eyes. As long as he is backlashed by the barrier, his little thoughts should be dispelled. Qian Yu thought. Soon, everything was ready, except for the east wind. Qian Yu hid in the dark, watching every plant and tree in Kirigakure. In the dark night, the bright moon hangs in midair like a huge mooncake, but not long after, gloomy dark clouds float over and blocks the bright moonlight. There is a dense residential area behind Qian Yu's main palace. There are all connected courtyards. It is said to be a residential area, but Yu ordered the craftsmen to build it according to the quality and weight. Those who can live there are also Qian Yu's women. Taking advantage of the darkness, the puppets entered Kirigakure. They adopted a strategy of attacking east and west. Some of the puppets attacked the streets to attract attention, while the other part of the puppets drove straight to the palace to capture White-Eyed Princess. Master Terumi Mei. There is an enemy sneak attack, the ninja shouted loudly. At this time, the streets in the village were in a panic, and the puppets attacked indiscriminately, causing countless villagers to suffer. Why did this happen when Lord Qian Yu was not in the village? Terumi Mei said helplessly. Under the order of Terumi Mei, the guards quickly attacked and fought fiercely with the puppets. Chojuro charged forward holding the ninja sword, but the enemy was more difficult than he expected, and a pair of arms popped out from the waist inadvertently, giving a surprise attack. If Chojuro hadn't reacted quickly, he might have been killed with one blow. It seems that you still need to practice, Chonggonlang, came the voice of no longer beheading. I saw that Zai Bujan slashed the puppet man's back with a beheading sword and sent him flying against the wall. It's amazing not to kill Senior again, Chojuro said excitedly. The ninjas of Kirigakure moved towards the troubled streets, and the palace became extremely empty, and a few puppets avoided the crowd and entered here. As everyone knows, there is a cold eye staring at them in the dark sky. In a spacious courtyard, sisters Hyuga Hinata and Hyuga Sparkle sit by a stream, whispering. Sister Hinata, did you hear any strange noises? Spark asked softly. It should have come from the village. I just saw a lot of people rushing towards the street with my white eyes. Hinata replied. Hope no one gets hurt. Hinata prayed afterwards. At this moment, a group of puppets jumped over the fence, jumped into the courtyard, and ran towards the Hyuga sisters. Spark. The enemy is attacking here, you run. I will give you the rear. Hyuga Hinata immediately entered the fighting state and raised his hands. No. Sister Hinata, let's go together, little Hanabi cried. But in the next second, there was a puppet who didn't talk about martial arts, sneaked up from behind, and knocked Hyuga Hinata into unconsciousness with a clean hand. Afterwards, the puppet put Hyuga Hinata on its shoulders and left. Hyuga Huowa had never seen such a battle. She rushed up quickly, but was pushed away mercilessly by the puppet, and left in front of her. Qian Yu, who was hidden in the dark clouds, couldn't help showing a fierce look on his face. Even though he was behind this incident, he was still extremely angry. I saw Qian Yu stretching out his fist, and a cold chill surged up, as if the air around Lien was frozen. Otsutsuki Sharon, this account is on your head. I hope you can survive in my hands for a while longer. Qian Yu said coldly. After the plan was achieved, the puppets who were causing trouble in the village also stopped attacking and quickly retreated. The puppets came and went in a hurry, which puzzled everyone in Kirigakure. Who the hell are these guys? Terumi Mei clenched her fists. I don't know. I heard that Master Qian Yu left a few puppets in the research institute a few days ago, very similar to what we encountered today. But Master Qian Yu did not say who is behind this incident, a Jonin said cautiously. Master Terumi Mei, we have reason to suspect that these puppets came to rescue their companions, a ninja spoke. Joke. According to the report from the front, the puppets are only active near the main street, and have no intention of going to the research institute at all, the Jonin retorted. Maybe they don't even know where the puppets captured by Mr. Qian Yu are being held, the ninja guessed again. At this moment, Zabu Zan returned from the battle with Chong Wang and others. Except for the villagers who died at the beginning, only a small number of genin were injured, and all of them were minor injuries, Zai Bujan said lightly. According to this information, I suspect that the enemy's attack order has a purpose. If not, it will not only cause a small number of ninja injuries. They don't seem to have much fighting spirit, Zabuzan analyzed. Are they attacking the streets just to distract us? Terumi Mei said in horror. I think there's a possibility, and I suggest that Kirigakure should be carpet checked immediately to see if the golems are haunting other places. The door of the office was pushed open suddenly, and two young ninjas ran in panting. What happened to make you so anxious? Terumi Mei suddenly had a bad feeling. The puppet captured Hyuga Hinata. As soon as these words came out, there was an uproar in the office, and their previous guesses came true immediately. This dealt a great blow to Terumi Mei. Hyuga Hinata is one of Lord Qian Yu's women. If Lord Qian Yu knows about this, the consequences will be disastrous. Master Qian Yu will not think that I am not good at things because of this, maybe he will alienate me because of this. Countless bad thoughts popped up. Give me an order to mobilize all the ninjas in the village to go out and search for the whereabouts of the puppet people. Even if you dig 3 feet into the ground, you must find them, Terumi Mei insisted. Obey. The ninjas rushed out. However, the puppet they were looking for has returned to the moon, dedicating the Hyuga Hinata to their master, Otsutsuki. Qian Yu finally cancelled the enchantment on Hinata, and decided to follow closely. As long as they dared to harm Hinata, he could kill them immediately. Otsutsuki Toneri stood in the middle of the road, looking at the returning puppet with joy. The puppet walking in the front put Hyuga Hinata gently on the ground, and Otsutsuki Toneri looked at the unconscious beauty and laughed. I haven't seen you for so many years, Hinata, You are still as cute as when you were a child, and you are worthy of being my wife. Otsutsuki felt Hinata with chakra. I can't remember how many years I've been waiting for these pure white eyes. Otsutsuki Toneri stretched out his right hand and gouged out Hinata's eyes. Hinata, who was in a coma, seemed to feel pain and his expression changed drastically, but he hadn't woken up yet. The restless Otsutsuki Toneri quickly cast the white eyes on himself. In the next second, the blue radiance was dazzling, followed by a huge amount of energy. Rinnegan must combine the powers of Indra and Ashura to open eyes. Tensegan's eye-opening conditions are equally harsh, and only the white-eyed chakra of the Otsutsuki clan and the chakra and Hyuga clan can be opened. Both Tensegan and Rinnegan are the ultimate pupil arts, and both have the ability to create and destroy the world. After a long time, the blue light slowly dissipated, because Otsutsuki Tonero opened those blue and white eyes. Is this Tensegan? I can feel the energy pouring out of my body, Otsutsuki said in surprise. A meteor flashed across, and Qian Yu, who was covered in cold air, landed on the surface of the moon smoothly. Before Otsutsuki Toneri could react, a huge suction force sucked Hyuga Hinata away. Qian Yu looked at Hyuga Hinata, who had lost his eyes in his arms, and felt very unhappy, so he summoned a clone and ordered it to send Hinata back to Earth. Who are you? How dare you take my wife away in front of me? Otsutsuki stared at Qian Yu. Hinata is my woman, whoever touches my woman will die. Qian Yu released monstrous anger. This breath was so terrifying that it even cracked the ground under Qian Yu's feet. Are you the Qian Yu who claims to be the lord of the ninja world? Otsutsuki Toneri looked at Qian Yu intently and asked. Self-proclaimed. I don't need to proclaim myself, that is recognized by the ninja world, and you, Otsutsuki Toneri, are just a clown. Yu was as cold as ice. You know my name? Qian Yu, who are you? Otsutsuki asked. For a long time, Otsutsuki Toneri has lived on the moon, and only went to the earth a few times with his father when he was a child, and he watched with special care. It stands to reason that no one on earth knows his name. Otsutsuki Sharon, there is nothing in this world that I don't know. Not only do I know your name, but I also know that you are a descendant of Otsutsuki Hamura. Qian Yu continued. Could it be that your ability is the prophet of the future? I am the god of this world. You don't need to know too much, you just need to wipe your neck and wait to die. Bing Yu was too lazy to continue talking nonsense with him. God? Don't be ridiculous, it's just that you have the power of 6 paths on your body, it's not worth mentioning in front of me. Otsutsuki Toneri replied. Immediately afterwards, Otsutsuki entered Tensegan chakra mode directly. Bright green light surrounded every corner of his body, and the truth-seeking ball appeared out of nowhere behind him. This is the energy of a real god. Otsutsuki, she said triumphantly, looking at his new attire. Stupid Otsutsuki people, let me see how much you weigh. Qian Yu calmly stretched out his little finger and ticked off at Otsutsuki. For a moment, Otsutsuki Sharon felt that he had been humiliated and was furious. Qian Yu, you are too arrogant. I will not only kill you, but also destroy the ninja world and rebuild a brand new world. Otsutsuki Sharon roared loudly. Long, long ago, Kagaya was defeated by her 2 children. The originator of Ninja Sage of 6 Paths used planetary devastation to seal 10 tails on the moon. In order to guard the ghetto statue, the Otsutsuki Hamura family migrated to the barren moon, leaving only one descendant on the earth, which is today's Hyuga family. It can be seen that it is not accidental that the Hyuga family has white eyes. After Otsutsuki Hamura passed away, he left his last words, but his descendants have a different understanding of them. The branch house believes that the world created by Sage of 6 Paths is constantly fighting and full of killings, which is wrong, while the branch house is more inclined to peaceful coexistence. With the blessing of reincarnation eyes, the branch house finally eradicated the Zong family, but after a long period of civil strife, it also caused the ethnicity of the Otsutsuki line to shrink and spread to Sharon, leaving him alone. Sharon, don't you just yell. Qian Yu said abruptly. In the next second, Otsutsuki entered Tensegan chakra mode directly, and bright green light flickered around him, just like a fairy descending from the earth. At the same time, the puppets on the moon also became restless. Under the control of Otsutsuki, the puppets attacked Qian Yu. Ice Age. I saw Qian Yu stretching out his arms without changing his face, the cold air radiating outwards, freezing everything in front of him. The surface of the moon is covered with a layer of ice, and the puppets rushing over are frozen by it, looking like ice sculptures. While Qian Yu was cooking these puppets, Otsutsuki Sharon suddenly appeared behind him, holding a crystal-clear chakra ball in his hand. This trick is called the Spirit Ball, and Otsutsuki Sharon once used it on Hyuga Hinata. As long as it is put into the body of others, it can control its will and actions, and it can also obtain thoughts. Sharon was overjoyed at this moment. He and Qian Yu were only 1 meter away, at such a close distance. The other party had no time to dodge anyway. He had already imagined the image of dominating Qian Yu. However, it was too early to be happy. Without warning, Qian Yu's body turned into a pile of ice cubes, and the spirit ball lost its target. "You're so stupid, you really underestimate the enemy." Qian Yu suddenly appeared above his head and said softly. With frozen fruit, Qian Yu can elementalize his body in the blink of an eye, thus immune to all physical and energy attacks. This ability is similar to Uchiha Obito's unique Mangekyo Sharingan pupil technique Kamui, which is to hollow the body anytime, anywhere. Ice escape 2 thorny spears. The solid ice cube undergoes shape changes at a speed visible to the naked eye, condensing 2 sharp long areas. Qian Yu threw out 2 thorny spears and shot them down fiercely. Otsutsuki Sharon did not dodge, but raised his right palm, and the repulsion force was so strong that it was unreasonable, and the 2 thorny spears were knocked into the air. Tensigan, like Rinnegan, has the ability to manipulate gravity and repulsion. As long as the carrier operates properly, the cast can mobilize the stars in the universe. It is no exaggeration to say that as long as Tensigan or Rinnegan is turned on, it already represents the beginning of the road to becoming a god. Ice escape storm pheasant's mouth. Qian Yu knew Tensigan's pupil art very well, so the ability to give up people did not bring him much disturbance. Afterwards, Qian Yu's arm was covered with a layer of ice, and as the cold air spread, the ice continued to change. A giant ice bird broke through the air, with a pointed pheasant beak on its head. "No matter what kind of tricks, in front of my pair of Tensigan, they are just small tricks." Otsutsuki Tonran was arrogant and domineering. Sharon opened his big hand in Chakra's coat and grabbed an energy ball. Unlike the spirit ball just now, this energy ball can devour ninjutsu, and can also penetrate the enemy's body to absorb chakra. But things did not develop as expected by Otsutsuki. The green energy ball hit the huge ice bird head on, and instead of devouring the ice bird, it was smashed by it. "This is impossible. Why is the energy ball malfunctioning?" Otsutsuki Tonran was shocked. Seeing the ugly expression on Sharon's face, Qian Yu couldn't help laughing, and there was a bit of sarcasm in this smile. Although he is used to adding the prefix of water style to the name of the move, violence is actually the ability brought to him by Dongguo. Energy orbs cannot absorb devil fruit abilities. After a while, Qian Yu's figure dissipated and turned into a cold air, and then integrated behind Otsutsuki Tonari. Qian Yu wrapped the cold air around his fist and hit Otsutsuki Tonari hard on the back. The fist touched Sharon's back, and immediately a cold chill invaded every corner of his body. This feeling made Otsutsuki's heart tremble, as if someone had put a cold sharp thorn into his stomach. "It's not over yet." Qian Yu unhurriedly withdrew his fist, stretched out his palm and patted it out, setting off a huge storm carrying a strong sense of voyeurism. Otsutsuki Tonari was hit head-on by the cold wave in the wind and waves, and his whole body was involved in it, and he was instantly dizzy, and he had to endure the cold air with spell penetration damage every moment. "Why is this happening? I have already activated Tensigan. Why am I still being hanged and beaten by a ninja master who came out of nowhere?" Otsutsuki Tonari broke down several times. Originally, he was full of ambition, thinking that by opening Tensigan, he would be invincible in the world, and then he would come to the earth and destroy the world as a world destroyer. But now, it seems that this is just his fantasy, or a fabricated dream. Otsutsuki Sharon, even though you have the pure blood of the Otsutsuki family, your heart is still very weak, and you are even far inferior to the earthlings you despise," Qian Yu said flatly. Otsutsuki got up from the ground in embarrassment, and large areas of frost appeared on various parts of his body, which were the result of being affected by the cold wave. These frosts will continue to eat away at Otsutsuki's vitality, making him weaker and weaker. After that, Qian Yu didn't even need to do anything, just wait quietly, and then he could watch this self-proclaimed noble enemy die slowly. "Is all this my destiny?" Otsutsuki Tonari sat on the ground and said vicissitudes. "The world created by Sage of Six Paths did have flaws before, and I don't deny that," Tian Yu said lightly. Without his intervention, the ninja world would not restore peace so quickly, and would still be in chaos. Although the 5 major ninja villages check and balance each other, They are all chasing their own interests. But since I came to this world, everything has changed. I have personally corrected the ninja world and brought peace and hope to people. Can you understand? Qian Yu stared at Otsutsuki Toneri intently, and said condescendingly. At this moment, Otsutsuki Toneri still looks young, but his mood has aged a lot. For a while, he seems to be dying and loses vitality. Not long after, the air conditioning finally swallowed up Otsutsuki's energy, and he lay down exhausted, with many pictures flashing through his mind, recalling the first half of his life. In the end, Otsutsuki did not die with peace in his eyes, and those blue and white tensigen looked at the direction of the earths without any warmth. Qian Yu raised his legs and walked over, carefully bent down, and stretched out his hands to dig out the double tensigen. Before leaving, Qian Yu used the fruit ability and chakra to construct an ice space. This space has been compressed to the size of a palm, but in fact, it can accommodate thousands of ninja villages. Qian Yu threw Otsutsuki's body and frozen puppets into the ice space. He went straight into the palace on the moon. After thousands of years of precipitation, the Otsutsuki family collected many strange things from other places. 10-fist sword? Qian Yu's eyes suddenly fell on a grass pheasant sword. This grass pheasant sword was glowing with red flames, and exuded a terrifying aura. This is an artifact found on Earth by the Otsutsuki clan. Orochimaru has always loved the Kusanagi sword, and his greatest desire is to find the legendary artifact 10-fist sword. In the original book, Orochimaru was forcibly pulled out of Sasuke's body by Uchiha Itachi, which also made him see the 10-fist sword that he had been looking for a long time. Only then did Orochimaru realize that it was no wonder that he had traveled all over the world, but still could not find the 10-fist sword. It turned out that this piece did not exist at all, but it belonged to Susanoo. This is just the conclusion drawn by Orochimaru personally. In fact, the weapons used by Susanoo all come from the imprint of real weapons. Therefore, it is not that the 10-fist sword does not really exist, but that it has been taken away by someone beforehand. This time it's a treasure. I'm worried that I don't have a weapon at hand, Qian Yu said, quite satisfied. So, with this 10-fist sword, Qian Yu almost ransacked Masharon's castle in Datong and returned with a full load. At the same time, Ninja World, Kirigakure. Terumi Mei was pacing up and down in Mizukage's office, with an abnormally flustered and nervous expression. Every time a ninja came over, Terumi Mei would excitedly ask if she found Hyuga Hinata. But unfortunately, Terumi Mei never got the answer she wanted. What should I do? If Mr. Qian Yu comes back, how should I explain to him? Terumi wanted to die every moment. Hyuga Hinata was captured by the puppet. Terumi Mei has an unshirkable responsibility. Due to the long-term depression, Terumi Mei suddenly became dizzy, her feet slipped, and she fell to the ground. Master Terumi Mei, are you all right? The attendant immediately stepped forward to help her with concern. I'm fine, I'm just a little tired. Terumi Mei sighed lowly. But at this moment, happily pushed the door open and walked in. Master Qian Yu brought Hinata back. Zabuchi is also a ninja who cares about his companions very much, and he is very happy to know that Hyuga Hinata is safe. It's great to finally get this good news. But, wait a minute, who did you say brought Hinata back? Terumi Mei gasped for breath. Lord Qian Yu, but it looks like it's just a clone. Zai Bu Zan replied. Hearing the news, Terumi Mei was as pale as a thunderbolt. After all, Qian Yu couldn't hide this matter. Afterwards, Zai Bu Zan walked out of the office with Terumi Mei, who looked guilty, and came to the open space below, where he bumped into Qian Yu's clone by chance. See Sir Qian Yu. Zai Bu Zan said respectfully. Qian Yu nodded calmly, and looked at Terumi Mei, who was standing next to him. Terumi Mei's eyes were erratic, deliberately dodging Qian Yu's gaze, and her overall state was also very depressed. What's wrong with you, Terumi Mei? Could it be that you're sick? Qian Yu's avatar asked in bewilderment. Master Qian Yu, please punish me, it is because of my dereliction of duty that Hyuga Hinata was captured by the enemy. No matter how you punish me, I will not say a single complaint, I deserve it. Terumi Mei took a deep breath, bent over at 90 degrees suddenly, and said all the words in her heart. Her little heart was beating thumpingly. Huh. Why do you think so? Terumi Mei, you have done a good job. Hinata was captured because of the cunning of the enemy. It has nothing to do with you. Qian Yu's avatar was stunned for a moment, and said. There is another point that Qian Yu didn't mention, that is, Hinata's arrest. He did it on purpose. As the master of the ninja world, Qian Yu knows that he is dignified, so there are some things he can't say. Master Qian Yu. You are so gentle. I will definitely work harder in the future. Terumi Mei's face was slightly flushed, and she said energetically. On the other side, Qian Yu's body also returned from the moon until it left for the Xi'an Village Research Institute. Due to the increase in workload, coupled with Qian Yu's emphasis on scientific research, this has led to the continuous expansion of the staff of the Research Institute. The Research Institute is full of scientific researchers in white coats. Some of them sit at the desk to observe cells with special instruments, and some run back and forth to transmit data. Looking around, there is almost no one idle. Qian Yu is very satisfied with the strong working atmosphere, and Orochimaru, the dean of the institute, personally handles the recruiting work of the institute. As for Orochimaru, Qian Yu put 118 hearts at ease, because he was the one who fell into the distinguished heavenly gods, and even if the sky fell, he would never betray Qian Yu. And Orochimaru is really awesome. Not only did he do a good job, but he also found a large number of suitable staff. The Research Institute is also equipped with a convenient elevator, which was created by adopting Qian Yu's idea. Orochimaru, how are those puppets doing their research? Qian Yu took the elevator to the top floor, and within steps, he saw Orochimaru leaning over to take pictures. On the table in front of Orochimaru was the leader of the puppet. The guy who created these puppets is definitely a genius. The power of these puppets far exceeds the creations of our ninja puppet masters. The two sides are not on the same level at all. Because I said it bluntly. Hearing Orochimaru's words, Qian Yu frowned. That Otsutsuki Sharon didn't look like a genius who could create such a high-level puppet. Could it be that someone is helping him behind the scenes? But apart from him, there are only those puppets left on the moon, and there is no other person at all. Qian Yu was constantly analyzing in his heart. I didn't come back empty-handed this time. I brought back a large number of puppets and a bunch of fun things. In the next second, Qian Yu snapped his fingers crisply, and a magical icy space appeared in the palm of his hand. It was just a subconscious command, and countless puppets and other objects fell out continuously. Soon, Orochimaru's laboratory was piled up to the brim, with nowhere to stand. This. Master Qian Yu, your ability is really great, you can always refresh my cognition. Orochimaru's expression froze, and he cast his eyes on the ground in admiration. It's a small thing. I just took over an enemy's hometown, so I got a lot, and there are some things that I don't feel interested in, so I don't bother to bring them. Qian Yu said lightly. By the way, Mr. Qian Yu, none of the puppets you have come here has been frozen. Will they wake up and attack us during the research process? Orochimaru asked worriedly. He doesn't have to worry about it himself, after all his strength is there. Even if he is involved in scientific research, he was once the legendary Sannin. Even if he can't beat him, he still has countless means of escape. But many of the staff in the Research Institute are ordinary people, and if this puppet wakes up, they will die imminently. Don't worry, the masters of these guys have fallen, and there is absolutely no way for them to wake up, Bing Yu replied. It was also based on this that Qian Yu removed all the ice from the puppets before leaving. Is this the 10-fist sword? Master Qian Yu, is this also your spoil of battle? Orochimaru suddenly noticed the divine sword not far away. That's right, you should study this thing together to see if you can make a replica. If you can use it, Yu said lightly. This unremarkable sentence gave Orochimaru great motivation. After leaving the Research Institute, Qian Yu walked on the street thinking about all kinds of things on the moon. For some reason, he always felt as if he had forgotten something extremely important. Damn it. I almost forgot about the huge yellow Tensigan, which is the most intimidating weapon in the Otsutsuki lineage. Strange. The huge yellow Tensigan can release an extremely strong beam of light, that is, the Golden Wheel reincarnation explosion, which is powerful enough to destroy the entire moon. Why didn't Otsutsuki Sharon use such a powerful force until he died? Qian Yu became more and more puzzled know why. Practice is the only criterion for testing the truth. Qian Yu soon returned to the moon and started a blanket search again, but he couldn't find what he wanted. No. According to the original plot, in this timeline, the yellow Tensigan must be in the hands of Sharon. Kai Yu was extremely puzzled. After searching the moon for a long time without any results, Qian Yu had no choice but to return home. Could it be because of the theory of causality? For the ninja world, Qian Yu is a factor that breaks in suddenly, and he is also destined to unconsciously change the established direction of things. thus triggering a series of variables, leading to the visionary Su. The specific manifestation is that things that should not have happened, and things that should have happened have not happened. The early morning sun climbed to the center of the sky, exuding a golden light, shining on the earth, and bringing vitality to the world. In the magnificent palace, Otsutsuki Kagaya thoughtfully changed Qian Yu's clothes. Looking at the handsome face and luxurious clothes in the mirror, Qian Yu felt very satisfied. Kagaya, are you really the only one who followed the Otsutsuki people who came to Earth? Qian Yu asked suddenly. That's right. The Earth is very far away from the galaxy where we are, and Yishi took a lot of effort to find here. At that time he took me with him. Kagaya said truthfully. Master Qian Yu, why did you suddenly ask this? Otsutsuki Kagaya was quite curious about this. I suspect that there is a mysterious person nearby who has the combat power of the Da Tongmu clan. Qian Yu said lightly. The huge yellow Tensigan will never disappear invincible, and there must be someone behind it. Could it be Mr. Qian Yu? You were overthinking? If you really want someone of that level, you must have shown up long ago. There is no reason for the other party to keep hiding in the dark. Otsutsuki Kagaya analyzed. There was some truth in her words, and Qian Yu nodded slowly. A few days later, Orochimaru brought good news. After studying day and night, he finally fully resolved the puppet. I figured it out. These puppets are equipped with this remote control motherboard in their bodies. They share the energy core, and the energy core should be their master. Orochimaru said slowly. There is a piece of white spar inside the puppet's forehead. These spar are called child stones, and their masters hold the corresponding mother stones in their hands. As long as the Otsutsuki Torito's mother stone has sufficient energy, the child stones will continue to function. It's just that Orochimaru searched Otsutsuki Toneri's body, but couldn't find the mother stone he wanted. Just when Orochimaru was puzzled, he suddenly thought of another possibility. Could it be that Otsutsuki Toneri's mother stone is also located in his body? After Qian Yu's permission, Orochimaru couldn't wait to break open Otsutsuki Toneri's body and successfully found the shining stone. Then can you modify the puppet to make it easier for us to use? Qian Yu asked. Orochimaru nodded quickly. He figured out a way to modify it early in the morning. He only needs to remake the core motherboards of these puppets, and then hand over the mother stone to Qian Yu, which can be easily done. Do this as soon as possible, don't make me wait too long. Qian Yu said flatly. At the same time, news came from several other ninja villages that they all discovered a mysterious force in the territory. After Qian Yu learned about it, he immediately regained his spirits. Could it be that the Shell organization will make an appearance so soon? In order to understand the details of the incident, Qian Yu specially found the ninjas who reported the news. According to the information we have obtained, it can be judged that the enemies of each ninja village come from the same line, which is a religion called Tiandaoism. But there are many ninjas among the members of that religion, another ninja added. Many ninjas? Qian Yu blinked and said in surprise. That's right, Lord Qian Yu, you have become the master of the ninja world, so you naturally conform to the will of the people, but it is inevitable that some people will feel jealous and dissatisfied, so many ninjas have become rebels and gathered together. The ninja hesitated, but spoke out. Hearing this, Qian Yu can be 100% sure that this decision is not the shell tissue in the future. The two can be said to be very different. I believe that many people have witnessed my strength. Do those traitors think they can beat me? My Lord Qian Yu, I guess that after the Taoism, someone must be fueling the flames and using some kind of method to confuse everyone, and that's why the rebels are going on this road of no return. Although Qian Yu has no interest in this Tiando religion, but as the master of the ninja world, he naturally cannot sit idly by. That night, accompanied by the dim moonlight, Qian Yu walked along the path to the territory of the Uchiha family. Uchiha Sasuke has been the patriarch of the family for some time. Although he is still very young and has little experience, he, as the strongest contemporary Uchiha family, should take on the responsibility of revitalizing the family. Where's your patriarch? Qian Yu looked at the Uchiha people on the side of the road and asked. At this point in time, the patriarch should be practicing in the woods outside the village. So, Qian Yu came to the dense forest again. The forest was very quiet at night, but as he went deeper, he gradually heard the sound of thunder and lightning. Why are you still practicing so late? Qian Yu came over and asked softly. Master Qian Yu. Why are you here? I want to improve my strength. Sasuke took back Reikari and replied. Ha ha ha, You should be worried about being defeated by Naruto in 3 years. Qian Yu laughed out loud. I don't think I will lose, but Naruto's strength is growing so fast, and I don't want to stand still, Sasuke said proudly. You need to change your mind, the real strong are very restrained, Qian Yu reminded. Qian Yu himself is an example. Looking at the entire ninja world, he has no rivals. Nagato is not as good as him, Obito is not as good as him, Uchiha Madara is not as good as him, and even Kagaya is not as good as him. Qian Yu, who has reached the top, has also improved his temper. He hardly gets angry on weekdays, and his emotions are rarely affected by the outside world. Master Qian Yu taught me that I will do a lot of self-examination, Uchiha Sasuke said respectfully. The original Sasuke was aloof and indifferent, unwilling to interact with others, and always had a bitter face. The appearance of Qian Yu changed Sasuke's life. Well, I'll give you a task to investigate the recently prosperous Taekwondo sect. If you can, just kill it, Bing Yu said. Yes. I don't know how long it took, the night slowly dissipated, a white belly appeared in the distant sky, and the sun shrouded the earth again. Facing the rising sun, Uchiha Sasuke walked out of Kirigakure with a small bag on his back, and within 2 steps, he saw the figure not far away. Are you going on a long trip? Gaidong Shueui asked puzzled. Master Qian Yu entrusted me with a task, and I will be back soon. Do you need me to help you? No need, that kind of thing. I can kill them all with one hand. Uchiha Sasuke said firmly, and continued to move forward, leaving behind a tall figure. Speaking of which, Uchiha Sasuke hasn't left Kirigakure for a long time. The only time is to fight with Naruto in the Valley of the End. Kirigakure is a peaceful village, or in other words, the ninja world under the leadership of Qian Yu is a place of peace everywhere. The first stop of Uchiha Sasuke is a small island around the country of water. The small island is called Coral Island, with convenient sea transportation and developed fishery, it can be called a rich and prosperous town. But since the people of Taoism established their base on Coral Island, the island has become uneasy, and small-scale riots will occur from time to time, which makes people panic. And Sasuke's task is to sneak into the Coral Island and suppress all the members of Taekwondo sect who are making trouble. It was indeed a trivial matter for Uchiha Sasuke. Not long after the Battle of Wei Yoruichi, Sasuke opened the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, and transplanted the power of Hashirama cells. According to Hokage's setting, Indra's reincarnation can transplant the power of Ashura's reincarnation to open the legendary Rinnegan. It's just that it takes a long time to open Rinnegan. Sasuke easily took a fishing boat, stepped into the territory of the small island, and walked on the street board. There are rows of merchants on both sides of the road, and all kinds of people walk around. Help! At this moment, a thin man shouted while running. 3 strong men in white clothes kept chasing after him. That's a member of the Taekwondo sect. After confirming the identities of the 3 people, the onlookers moved away one after another, for fear of being implicated by them. Soon, the thin man accidentally stepped on a stone and fell to the ground. But the strong men quickly surrounded him, approaching him step by step. Brother, please let me go. The man begged loudly. It's absolutely impossible. Our Taekwondo sect was entrusted by the heavens to attack Qian Yu, the tyrant of the ninja world. How dare you speak well of that tyrant in front of us, which proves that you are also an evil person, and death is not a pity. The leading strong man took out the big knife hanging behind his back, and stared at the man fiercely. Seeing the big knife slashing down quickly, the thin man was so frightened that he fainted. Suddenly, a hand blocked the big knife. Who are you? Do you want to save people under the nose of our Taekwondo sect? Sasuke ignored him, and with a little force, directly crushed the big knife into pieces and scattered them on the ground. Such a scene made the 3 strong men turn pale with shock. The black-haired man in front of them was really too tough. Brother, looking at your face, and your skill is so powerful, you should be a ninja from other places, right? The strong man swallowed, and said boldly. Our Taekwondo sect is very powerful here. Offending us will not end well. How about this? Just treat us as friends, and I'll sell you face, so I don't care if you stop me from doing things. This strong man is like a genius. When he realized Sasuke's strength, his brain was working rapidly, and he immediately uttered this series of smooth words. Afterwards, the brawny man excused himself and had other things to do, so he had to take a step first. But as soon as they turned around, they saw Sasuke flashing in front of them again. Did I let you go? Sasuke asked lightly, exuding an ultimate murderous look. Brother, I've already talked about this point. Why don't you understand? Do you have to mess things up? Said the brawny man. However, as soon as he finished this sentence, he saw Sasuke pull out a grass pheasant sword from behind. Sasuke waved the grass pheasant sword lightly, and the heads of the two companions beside the strong man fell to the ground immediately, and they walked very simply. The blood of his companion inevitably spilled on his face. The strong man suddenly panicked, his whole body went limp, and he sat on the ground powerlessly. Answer my question honestly, or you will end up like them. Sasuke stared at him straight. Okay, brother, as long as you don't kill me, you can ask me to do anything. The strong man stammered. Who is the leader of your Tendo sect? I don't know the name of the leader. We all call him the messenger of the gods. It is said that he has powerful divine power and can destroy the world with a flick of his finger. The strong man said truthfully. Hearing this, a contemptuous smile flashed across Sasuke's face. Isn't this kind of rhetoric used to bluff people? Why do so many people believe it? How many people do you have on Coral Island? Sasuke sorted out his mood and continued to ask. There are about 20,000 people, but most of them are ordinary believers, and there are less than 500 ninjas. The strong man replied. After knowing everything he wanted to know, Sasuke killed the strong man with a clean blow without giving him any time to react. Sasuke believes that the guy who wants to kill like this doesn't have to keep his promise at all. The crimes on this strong man are enough for Sasuke to slash him dozens of times. Immediately afterwards, according to the information obtained, Sasuke came to the entrance of a building in Coral Island. This is the stronghold of Tiandaoism in Coral Island. Hey, what are you doing? The two guards at the door pointed at Sasuke's nose and shouted loudly. Sasuke's pupils immediately transformed into Sharingan, and the illusion was cast on it. I saw that the two guards were deeply trapped in the spiritual world in a trance, burned by the fierce flames, and frozen by the cold ice. In just a short second, they felt unprecedented pain. With absolute overwhelming strength, Sasuke doesn't have to think about any strategies, he just needs to shoot straight in, and kill him generously. The entire building was staffed by the Tendo sect. Sasuke went up layer by layer. On the way, he lightly cleaned up everyone who tried to stop him. A spacious office on the top floor of the building. It's not good, elder. A young man broke in. His strength is extremely terrifying. He can kill our guards in a blink of an eye. Standing in front of the balcony was a middle-aged man of average build, with a scar on his forehead and a thick beard at the corner of his mouth. That guy is probably a ninja sent by the surrounding ninja village to investigate the situation. Don't worry, he can't be my opponent. The so-called elder's name is Sakura Jing Jiasen. Before joining Tendo sect, he belonged to Cloud Shinobi village Anbu and possessed the strength of elite Jonin. It's a pity that he accidentally offended Raikage, was punched flying, and was seriously injured. He had to recuperate for more than half a month before he recovered. The one-punch feud of the past lingered in Sakura Jing Jumori's heart, and he was so brooding about it that he finally chose to become a traitor. However, he is not a blind and arrogant person. He is very aware of the gully gap between himself and Raikage. He has never thought of revenge, because it is no different from self-destruction. However, Sakura Jinkumori met a man who changed his life in a roadside tavern by chance. The man was wearing a black overcoat with a grimace mask on his face, looking unfathomable. The most important thing is that this mysterious person knows Yingju's past like the back of his hand. Do you want to swallow your anger for the rest of your life? The mysterious man said lightly. What? Are you trying to persuade me to kill Raikage? Don't be ridiculous, okay. If you don't wake up, go to sleep for a while. Sakura Jing Jusan lost interest in the conversation and stood up directly to leave. He felt that staying here would only be a waste of time, without any meaning. What if I can give you power? Give you a power that can crush Raikage under your feet. What are you willing to do? The mysterious man said persuasively. Hearing such words, Sakura Jing Jusan was shocked and froze in place. Who doesn't wish for more power? How can you prove to me that what you said is true? Sakura Jing Jusan took a deep breath and stared at the mask intently. Then, the mysterious man stretched out his palm and placed it on his shoulder. At this moment, a strange energy quickly merged into Sakura Jingjusan's body. I am a messenger from heaven. This is the power entrusted to you by God. As long as you believe in Tendo, this power will not disappear, the mysterious man said slowly. Since then, Sakura Jingjusan has become a fanatical believer, because the opponent really brought him a strong force zone. The power bestowed by the gods on Sakura Jingjusan is the art of controlling weapons. he can inject his own chakra into weapons to increase their power several times. It is precisely because of this ability that Sakura Jingjusan's strength has improved a lot compared to before. Not long after, the door was kicked open, and Sasuke appeared in front of them, expressionless, like a cold killer. You are the demon who broke in without permission. There is an old man here, and you are not allowed to make trouble. Sakura Jingjusan roared full of momentum. In the next second, Sakura Jingjusan walked to the corner, took down the long knife hanging above, and held it tightly in his hand. Great God! Please grant me the power to eliminate evil. Sakura Jingjusan looked at the distant sky through the window and said devoutly. At the same time, the chakra in his body began to flow into the long knife in his hand, and intense electric sparks emanated from the knife. Sakura Jingjusan's chakra is of lightning attribute, so it is also possible to make his weapon with the power of lightning style. Are you playing lightning style in front of me? It's really too small to shake a tree, Sasuke said lightly. I saw Sakura Jingjusan holding a long knife in both hands, and ran towards Sasuke quickly. Sasuke calmly pulled out the Kusanagi sword and stood in front of him. The knives and swords collided with each other, producing ear-piercing roars. A chakra attached to a weapon. It's really rare, Sasuke commented. Sakura Jingjusan took a deep breath and continued to increase her strength, but she was still unable to repel Sasuke. Sasuke also freed his left hand at this time, and the current surged. In a short time, they seemed to hear the sound of thousands of birds screaming. Reikiri. This is the S-level lightning style ninjutsu developed by Hitaki Kakashi. It was originally called Chidori. It is said that he used this trick to cut off lightning, so he gained the name Reikiri. Is this Kakashi's ninjutsu? Who are you? Sakura Jingjuzo said in shock. It was several years ago that Sakura Jingjusan became a rebel, and that was the period when Kakashi was famous, and then he lived in seclusion in a small place, unaware of the many changes in the ninja world. Not even Sasuke knew him. Remember my name. My name is Uchiha Sasuke. In the next second, Sasuke swung Reikiri and stabbed towards him. Seeing such a situation, Sakura Jingjusan dripped cold sweat. The rapid thunder and lightning made him shudder. It seemed that it could easily take his life. If you don't want to die, tell me where is the messenger you mentioned, the person who founded Tien Taoism? Sasuke asked coldly. You can kill me, even if I die, I will never reveal the secret to you. The great messenger of God will judge your sins one day. My today is your future. Sakura Jingju laughed loudly and wildly. Uchiha Sasuke couldn't help frowning. This guy has been brainwashed by the so-called Tiento sect, and he doesn't even fear death. Because of this, Sasuke also began to attach importance to the so-called Tien Taoism from the bottom of his heart. If every member of the Tendo sect was like Sakura Jingjusan, it would definitely bring huge turmoil to the world. Do you think I won't know if you don't tell me? The corners of Sasuke's mouth raised slightly. Standing across from him, Sakura Jingjusan looked puzzled. He couldn't predict how Sasuke would treat him. At this moment, Sasuke's pupils flickered, and the red Sharingan released a strange light. Illusion Sharingan. Sasuke said softly. This is one of the basic abilities of Sharingan, which can perform hypnosis on the enemy, which is very powerful. Under the influence of the illusion, Sakura Jingjusan suddenly felt dizzy, her vision became blurred, the surrounding sounds gradually dissipated, and the whole world seemed to be plunged into darkness. When Sakura Jingjusan regained consciousness again, he found himself in a chaotic space. Turning your head and looking, no matter which direction you go, there is boundless darkness. In a trance, Sasuke's figure appeared in front of him, with black light shining on his body, like a demon in hell. Sasuke blinked, and Sakurai Jusan felt incomparable pain. His body seemed to be burned, frozen, cut with knives, and various criminal laws were applied. Sakura Jingjusan let out a very miserable roar, and his body and spirit were greatly destroyed. When you tell me what you want to know, I will stop torturing you, Sasuke said coldly. After a few breaths, the screaming Sakura Jingjusan could no longer bear the pain, and finally began to kneel down and beg for mercy. Please, stop, I say it all. Hearing such words, Uchiha Sasuke nodded in satisfaction, snapped his fingers, and withdrew the punishment imposed on Sakura Jinkuzo. You can talk now. The messenger of God is located in the east of the land of fire, and he is entrenched in a small village where there are many elites of Tien Taoism. Sakura Jingjusan said truthfully, panting heavily while speaking. After getting the answer he wanted to know, Uchiha Sasuke undid the illusion, making the opponent's consciousness return to the body again. In the spacious room, Sakura Jingjusan lay on the ground with lingering fear, not daring to look up at Sasuke again. The sharp grass pheasant sword was inserted into his chest without warning, and the tip of the sword was covered with thick blood. Sasuke is not a merciful person, so naturally he would not leave a scourge like Sakura Jingjusan, and killed him cleanly. Ninja World, Kirigakure, a luxurious palace. A black crow flapped its wings, flew over thousands of miles, and landed on Qian Yu's shoulder. A messenger of God. Interesting. Qian Yu then took out a brand new piece of white paper, drew a few strokes on it, and placed it on the crow. On the other side, after destroying all the forces of Tiondo sect on Coral Island, Sasuke returned to the land and followed the map to the Land of Fire. On the 10th day after leaving Kirigakure, Sasuke finally stepped into the Land of Fire. At this moment, an orange figure flashed past, causing disturbance. Who's there? Sasuke took out a handful of kunai and asked vigilantly. The next second, a grinning Uzumaki Naruto came out of the bushes touching the back of his head. Sasuke, long time no see. Why are you here? Sasuke took kunai back and asked in confusion. Master Qian Yu is worried that the enemy will be difficult this time, so just to be on the safe side, he sent me to help you. While speaking, Naruto took out a letter signed by Qian Yu. It's really bad luck to team up with you. At the end of the crane, don't hold me back when you meet the enemy, Sasuke said angrily. Sasuke and Naruto have always been in the same situation, they are out-and-out rivals, and it has long been commonplace to talk to each other. Idiot, bastard, you are the tail of the crane, Lord Qian Yu just didn't trust you, that's why he let me come here, Naruto replied fiercely. Along the way, the mouths of the two of them almost never stopped, and they couldn't stop babbling. Also because of this, time passed faster, and not long after, they arrived at their destination, a village named Fengwo Town. Fengwo Town is a very inconspicuous small place in the Land of Fire. Most of the villagers here make a living by planting fields, and some people will go to the mountains to find iron ore to mine. At this moment, the gate of Fengwo Town was locked tightly with a solid iron gate, and no one could be seen beside it. Hey, is there anyone? Naruto stepped forward, slapped on the iron gate with his hands, and shouted out loudly. At the end of the crane, according to the previous information, this is the old den of the Tiondo sect. If you do this, you will startle the snake, Sasuke said. So what, even if they all charge over, I can beat them all with one punch, Uzumaki Naruto said confidently. As soon as the words fell, the iron door slowly opened. The light inside made them unable to open their eyes for a while, and they stretched out their arms to cover it. After a moment, Naruto followed the gap between the fingers, looking forward. Behind the door is a wide avenue, many villagers are standing there, they all turned around at the same time. Hey, everyone, I'm Uzumaki Naruto, a heroic ninja from Konoha village. This time I'm here to fight against evil spirits. Don't be afraid, Naruto said triumphantly. Are you a fool? Naruto, Sasuke yelled from behind. Naruto just wanted to quarrel with Sasuke, but saw an extremely terrifying scene. The villagers standing on the street were distorted, their eyes still glowing green, like a group of walking corpses. These weird villagers paused for a moment, and then all rushed towards Naruto. Although the speed was slow, they were numerous and oppressive. What's the situation? Are they all zombies? Naruto opened his eyes wide, and said with a look of astonishment that he had only heard of zombies in ancient legends. No, they still have normal breathing. I guess someone controlled their minds, so they are so abnormal. Sasuke turned on Sharingan early in the morning and observed carefully. Then what should we do now? Naruto had a headache, it was the first time he had seen such a situation. Can only retreat temporarily. Although Sasuke was unwilling, he could only make such a decision. After all, it is not the vicious villains who want to attack them, but the innocent villagers. As ninjas who live under the guidance of Ganyu, the master of the ninja world, neither Sasuke nor Naruto want to kill good people by mistake. Ever since, Mingzo and his two ran fast with all their might, and quickly got rid of the group of weird troops. Not long after, Naruto and Sasuke sat on a piece of green grass, adjusting the flow of chakra by panting. From time to time, a large white cloud floated across the sky, blocking the bright sunlight. Because we broke in rashly today, it is bound to attract the attention of the enemy, and they will definitely be more vigilant in the future, and will not give us any chance. Sasuke glanced at the distant village and said softly. If only I could avoid those controlled villagers. Naruto put his hands on his chest. According to the current situation, we can only find ways to sneak into the village from other places, Sasuke said. At dusk, the two of them ate dry food, and Sasuke spoke his way slowly. That is to divide the troops into two groups, and Naruto will attack from the main gate again, and use the shadow clone technique to restrain the weird villagers. When the enemy learns that outsiders have invaded, they will definitely dispatch masters to fight. In this way, Uzumaki Naruto will be able to draw the attention of the hostile forces, thereby creating an opportunity for Sasuke to sneak in. At that time, I will climb over the surrounding high walls, find the leader of Tiondo sect, and kill him, and our mission will be considered complete, Sasuke said lightly. Even though the messenger of God who has never met is boasted by the believers of Tiondo is extremely brave, but Sasuke believes that that guy is definitely not his opponent. I have a question. Naruto raised his arm. Go ahead. Why did you go in and assassinate the enemy leader? I think it's more appropriate for me to do this task, Naruto said unconvinced. First of all, I am the one who made the plan, and secondly, my strength is far above yours. Have you forgotten the battle of the Valley of the End? Sasuke said lightly. Every time he thinks of the battle in the Valley of the End, Uzumaki Naruto will feel angry. At that time, he obviously tried his best, but he still couldn't defeat Sasuke. Uzumaki Naruto, who was defeated, did not lose heart because of this, but went to Mount Myoboku to practice under the leadership of Jiraiya. It's a pity that fairy art is too difficult to master, and Naruto has not grasped the essentials for me for a long time. Besides, I'm not as good at shadow clone technique as you are, and I can't restrain so many villagers at the same time. It's more appropriate for you to do this. The thing about going out to fight is to give full play to everyone's advantages. After pondering for a moment, Sasuke restrained his usual arrogance and said rationally, in that case, let's do what you say.